Mic check. Yo, yo, yo. Markets are open, but I'm gonna wait till 10 a.m. and see what we can get here. Gonna be tape reading today's price action, keeping it chill. So in the meantime, I'm actually going back and I'm just looking at a few things, back testing a few of these interesting price action days that we had last week. All right, so right now I'm just going down on this 4 hour. All right, there we go. Nice. So paying a little more attention to how this 4 hour candle is closing going into 10 a.m., right? So you can see the discrepancy here where you see we actually close underneath this open price on ES. NASDAQ does not. Extremely bullish, right? So naturally I could be like, all right, maybe this is a bullish reaction. Maybe I should be looking for longs, right? So let's see how this would play out. You want to watch the weaker one here, and you want to see how price responds at these levels here. Make these a little solid. All right, so what do we leave behind at this level? All right, so boom, that's your. We need that. All right, whatever. It's funny how the 4 hour would show you. I guess maybe it's not there yet. No, yeah, it's funny, right? You see how the 4 hour, when I put this line in, okay, I get it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is, yeah, I get it. I get it. All right. So yeah, this candle right here opens at 2 a.m. That's the rejection. And then the low, we close through 2 a.m. All right. So cool. When I go down here, I want to see what structure was left around that 2 a.m. price. There goes 2 a.m. Zoom in on ES, the weaker one, right? If the weaker one can flip bullish, then I'm going to be looking for a buy here. So here we go. Look at this, right? You see how we have massive rejection here from 930. We break it and then fall back underneath it. All right. So how did we break it? We broke it from this down close candle, right? You see how this is the last down close candle before price was able to break through this roadblock here. So this was rejecting, slams lower, and then finally finds support off of this down close candle to rally higher. All right. So if this level holds and we flip back above this resistance, I should be looking for buys, right? Let's see. 10 a.m. rejecting, pushing back into this series of down close candles. Let's see if it holds. Any move back above here, I'm gonna try to buy. Excuse me. All right, let's check on NASDAQ while we look around here. Okay, nice. RTY is pushing lower, so yeah, you would want to see a nice strong move on all three of these. And then NASDAQ, let's see what NASDAQ is up to. Did I not draw it up on NASDAQ? All right, let's go back 4 hour. Let's draw this up. About 15 minutes until 10 a.m. open, so yeah. Just getting some good tape reading in here. All right, nicely. So yeah, you see NASDAQ isn't even entertaining this 2 a.m. low that ES is dealing with. So now you just watch based on similarities. If I pull ES up right here, I can say, all right, this is where the resistance was. So I can mark that out, same area on NASDAQ. I could say this is where the breakout was here, and I can mark this candle out right here as the catalyst, and I can synchronize these two, make them look alike. Even though they're not hitting the same exact levels, they're still performing the same type of price action. And here we are. All right, so we've already broken above that specific level here on NASDAQ. However, we need the entire party to join in here, so I'm waiting on ES to break. There goes that break for ES here. So NASDAQ's so far ahead. This one's tough because you're gonna have to buy the lagging one, bro. What time would it be at this point? 10:06. You could wait for a pullback, or you could long ES, understanding you're gonna be able to get the best stop loss and just hope that ES can catch up with NASDAQ. This won't always work because if this is your target, the market could take this level on NASDAQ and then never take it on ES. Right? But let's see what happens. Okay, you get some heat, you get some heat, you get some heat. Yeah, this is choppy. Been in this trade since 10 a.m. It's 10:45. NASDAQ takes the high, like we talk about, right? This could get taken out on NASDAQ, and then ES could just completely forget about trying. So this is the risk you're taking, but because you're looking at a 4-hour indication, you have to give this trade 4 hours to play out and hope that it gives you what you're looking for. As you can see, we've been in this trade since 10 a.m. It's now 11 a.m. and it's still slowly climbing, but it still hasn't hit that level yet, huh? Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is trash, but the trade idea was set at 10 a.m. and now it's 1 p.m. Wow, look at that, bro. Look at that, guys. This is a perfect example of why the last like 2 weeks have been so like misunderstood. Like why do you feel like you have to revisit this level 1, 2, 3, 4 times and waste, let's say, an hour? No, not even. It's 1:30. That's 3.5 hours being wasted while NASDAQ is off and gone to the races. Like, there's no reason for you to be lagging this far behind if you're going to end up taking this high anyway, unless you're just playing hard to get, right? And look at it, it still hasn't taken that high. It's probably not going to it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to at this point. If it does, I'll be surprised. 3 p.m. Wow, look at this. It takes the high at 4 p.m. It makes you wait your entire session just to give you this high. If you were to buy NASDAQ at that breakout, the same point, okay, I see what's going on here. The lesson is don't buy the weaker one. You could have bought NASDAQ here. You're gonna need a super safe stop. So you go and you draw up where you would put your stop on ES, which would have been under this 10 a.m. low. You're gonna need a massive stop. Oh no. Yeah, it's just tough, bro. That's just tough. That's tough. I'm thinking, like, where would you put your stop if you were to buy this breakout here that confirmed the idea? You got one 1 minute order block, another 1 minute order block, but then you have this massive imbalance sitting here. Realistically, you could do something like this, but you see how close you get to getting stopped out. So that's really not a good entry. The only thing I would say is, all right, Okay, let's do that. I would be down for that. I would be down for that. Cover that gap, something like this, and then look for just like a 1 to 1 or 1 to 1.2, something like that. And you be done in no time if you're trading Nasdaq. You're done in an hour. Yeah, I like this. What I did here was instead of buying the confirmation candle with this massive 60-point confirmation candle, I just put my entry on this order block here, hoping that it pulls back, which it, as we've seen, it's going to pull back 7 or 8 times for no reason. So just depend on that pullback. The markets are weird. Like sometimes you'll be able to buy these types of moves and it'll just blast you or take profit. And then other times you'll see stuff like this where you need to find a good pullback area to get in. I would be okay with putting my entry on this order block. Same for ES. Put your entry on that order block and just pick a safe stop loss. Give it a chance to run for you. 105 points. I could do that. Yeah. What time is it? All right, cool. 8 minutes until 10 a.m. Yeah, let me screenshot this. That's definitely the play here. I was talking with Zilla earlier and he was talking about like higher time frame closures, and I was like, you know what, bro? Actually, paying a little bit more attention to how that 6 a.m. candle closes would actually be something that I'm interested in. Nice, yeah, I like that a lot, kid. You wait for the confirmation on the weaker one to break out and become bullish, but you trade the stronger one, which was Nasdaq. Don't trade that weaker one. No, 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 no. Oh my goodness, no. We saw how long ES took to hit the same target. That's pathetic. All right, maybe we can look at one more. I doubt if we have much time left, but I just want to see another situation here. All right, so that was Thursday the 18th. Off of that 6 a.m. closure, showed you a bullish signature, and what do you know? We get a nice bullish rally. Over here, let's see what this one did. 6 a.m. Look at that. Gives you another bearish. Oh yeah, this is clean, bro. Let's see what this looked like here. When I'm looking at this and I see a strong move over here, we break this level. We break that level there, but over here we respect these two levels. So this is where I should be looking for my bro. This, yeah, it's so aggravating because you shouldn't have to rely so heavily on like 4-hour closures, especially when you're doing the power of 3. But when there's so much chop going on, these levels seem to hold the best. Like we just saw, right? No matter how many times that level was hit, it held. All right, so cool. Let's go look at ES real quick, and then we can get over to these live charts. Look at that. That's nice. All right, so this level right here seems to be the real catalyst here. This 2 a.m. high, which is like a London high. All right, and then you have this level right here. It hasn't even been hit yet, so we'll see how price responds there. And let's see if we can catch a buy or a short based on how price reacts at this level. Go down to the 1 minute, 10 a.m. open. All right, so where's our resistance? Look at that. We're already, yeah, we were above this level and then we get up under it. And then here we're failing to break it. All right. So now we're just looking for a retest of this level. If this level holds, then you'll probably want to short it. If it retests it. All right, there you go. All right, so we're breaking through it on ES. a nice strong close through. See if NASDAQ can agree. Try to take a long. NASDAQ does not agree. We slam back underneath. $10 a.m. opens higher. Doesn't even tap into those levels. The most we did over here was tap into here. This attempt to break it, slam lower, we tap into it again, break lower. Yeah, this looking pretty weak, right? So what I would do is I would say, where's my setup? Where's my trend shift? I need to see ES shift as well. ES still not really bearish. It's showing weakness, but it hasn't broken anything. NASDAQ has broken it. So let's see if ES can break. All right, there goes your break on ES. Where are we now? We are pretty sold off now on NASDAQ. So now you need to see this level break on ES, and then you can start drawing up this trade here. Right, we saw price attempt to go higher. Boom, boom. There goes your order block right here that I could try to draw a trade off of. All right, boom, boom, yeah. Tap into it, go higher, close through. Yeah, let's see if we can tap into there and then get up under this red line. There goes your move underneath it. That's a lot of speed. It might not come back. That was beautiful though. We closed through it, push right back into the order block. Okay, yeah, so this is where I would probably try to short this gap right here if it gives us a pullback. All right, so we had the same thing over here, bullish, boom, close through, order block, and then tap. It didn't even tap into this OB, but ES did. Then it leaves you this imbalance sitting right here. So this is where I would try to short, hoping that it pulls back, right? That's the catch with stuff like this. It may not pull back, but the way these markets have been trading, you want to see a pullback before you get in. So let's see. There goes your pullback. There goes my entry. I don't even know what to target here, bro. You have Asia lows here. You have 10 a.m. 9:30 price from the day before. It wasn't even tapped. Okay, yeah, so I'll probably just go break even at 9:30 price and just let this trade run, hoping for the best. 9:30 would be how many points? Oh no, I could take TP there. Yeah, that's 1.3. That's pretty solid. Let's see if this plays out. I don't know. This is it though. This is the setup. But instead of using a simple power of 3, even though the power of 3 actually agrees, right? You see 10 a.m. open higher and fail. And you have SMT with the higher time frame on that 4-hour. So this should work out, bro. Actually, I'll probably target like a 6 a.m. This should dump, ideally. So let's see. Oh my goodness. Look at the chop you gotta deal with. But it gives you at least a 1 to 2. You shouldn't be even asking for more than that, to be real. Yeah, that's a bang. I don't think you guys will ever see me hold a trade more than 1 to 2. 200% gains. So yeah, that's how I'll be trading going forward, man. Quick glimpse of it. And look at that, right on time. It's 10 a.m. My trades are going to be a lot more scarce. Like, I need to see that 4-hour closure give me a bias rather than just relying on that 10 a.m. power of three. This was a really good setup because the power of three actually agreed with the 4 hour bias. But there we go. That's solid, bro. And that's two banger trades within the same week. This is Tuesday the 16th. The other trade was the 18th. And that's all you need. Two bangs every week. I promise you, you'll be good to go. Delete that. Highlight this 6 a.m. candle reaction as my bias. But you can see how this was a bearish reaction from the get-go. That was clean. All right, yeah. Download this, and then we'll go look and see how this 6 a.m. candle closed today. And honestly, I think that'll help, because if I don't see that closure, I'm just not gonna stream. I'm gonna get off the charts, enjoy my day, because I don't think the markets are really in a friendly mood as of lately. So you gotta play it smart. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Went from massive bullish to bearish engulfing. All right, cool. Clean this up. Let's go look at the 4 hour close for today. Oh, nice dump action here. All right, so what are you guys noticing already? I see we closed through this 2 a.m. low very easily over here. We closed through it very easily right here. Yet we have not closed through that level over here. So this could be a bullish indication. All right, that's not bad. Let's check on ES. Oh, look at that. If that's not bullish, I don't know what it is. ES is telling you it's not that weak either. So all you're looking for is for price to find its way back higher here. All right, so I'll be watching this 2 a.m. price. You guys know me by now. Those price points, those price points get me where I'm at. Payout or no payout. All depends on how that price point treats me. Nice. So I like that. We were able to close through that 2 a.m. price easily on NASDAQ. All right. And then what do you notice about 10 a.m.? 10 a.m. is pretty bearish to open. Almost a little bit too bearish. Might get that open lower power of three to go back bullish. So we'll see. And we actually get a live example to try and catch this setup. But good day, everybody. I hope everyone has had a good weekend. Get ready for some bangers. The vibes have shifted. We are now pretty much accustomed to what the markets are up to now. Caught us by surprise with that random shift, but boom, yeah. Failure to close underneath 2 a.m. So you can mark off this low as liquidity here and see how price responds after taking it out. Why don't I have a liquidity? All right, see how price responds after that low there. Same here and here. Cool. Let's see. For example, like let's say this just continues to bleed off, then that just makes it easier for me because I'm not going to trade it. Wow, look at that. Sell off. Sell off has begun. Look at it go. My goodness. That is hilarious. Nothing to do here but just watch, huh? Price pushing right back to that weekly open. This is all just a bloodbath right now. I wonder what's the deal, what's happening. You check the news, or is this just another one of those days? Yeah, I don't see anything major. Yeah. So remember, based on the 4 hour, ES had the strongest close for 6 a.m. here. We did fall underneath here. This 2 a.m. open price, which should have been, I'm sorry, 2 a.m. close price, not the open. We fell below that 2 a.m. close candle level, and from there the market had trouble. Look at that. Look at that. So literally the two examples that we saw, this was not the case, right? The stronger one did not fall underneath that 4 hour level. Here it falls underneath it right at 10, retest, dumps, and almost gives you the clue that it's about to sell off. That's a trade in itself. Like, literally, we weren't talking about this prior, but if this is what it's going to look like when it fails, this is obvious. If we're looking for the stronger one to hold and the weaker one to catch up, what happened at this time exactly? Look at that, right? The same key level, I want to say the 4 hour low. Yep, 4 hour low gets broken, retested, or displaced through, I should say. The 4 hour level gets displaced through, leaves you a gap here for a short there, or a short on here, which you would have want to shorted NASDAQ instead, but you needed to see the stronger one give that confirmation first. So here you could have shorted that gap. Stop above these highs. Break even at like a session low. I'm taking notes here on this. I'm taking notes here. Turn on some indications. Look at that midnight price, incongruence with it. Nice, man. That's nice. All right, download that. Put a note, actually, re-download it. Stronger asset. Stronger asset. Flips the 4 hour. Our level. All charts break the 6 a.m. candle range. 1 minute FVG entry. Yeah, bro. Probably the easiest trade when you're using that concept of either that 4 hour candle is going to hold that level and go higher, or that 4 hour candle is going to fail across the board and go lower. All right, simple. All right. So with that, what happened? We take out a lot of liquidity. We took out all of the session lows. There's a lot of bearish moves that weren't even swept or revisited. So you can almost guarantee, based on how the markets have been moving, price could end up pushing all the way back up here again, just for fun, right? It likes to waste time lately. So keep my eyes on these levels here and see how price responds when it gets there. So I think this just confirmed that we're bearish for this session here, but it's tough to say once all the bearish targets get taken out. So now I honestly want to see how this plays out with no bias. I don't want to pick a side here because I think the real move that, based on what I would have been looking for, would have been that short. What's one bullish indication? I would say that if price gets above this, put a note here, 2 a.m. If price gets above here, then I think that's fair game for higher. Anything underneath it, I think short. Very simple. And then where's that? Let's see here. Okay, the highs are pretty far away. Yeah, we're chilling. All right. So let's see how that plays out. Yo, what's the move? Back from my break. Caught the short down to 350. That's impressive. So yeah, bro, we were hoping to see these so like if you just zoom out, you'll see it clear as day. So going into 10 a.m., you saw this level here, this 2 a.m. level here was holding nicely. Very nicely. And you guys know me. I wait for 10 a.m. to open because that's when the games usually begin. And I wanted to see how this 2 a.m. price would hold up after 10. So we saw the SPY or the ES tap into this level and then rip through it. So I'm like, all right, that's your sell. You could have caught some puts or whatnot off of this closure through. Bro, that might even be a little bit easier to play. Just look for a 5-minute close. Hold on, let me screen this. I'll have to go back and just review these types of entry confirmations. That's why I'm not taking them live. But the narrative was already there. We had this level set up. We said we expected to hold. So when it didn't hold, I didn't want to go short. I was expecting it to hold. 5-minute close through 4-hour level. And that would have been based on today, right? You can't say that this is going to look exactly the same every single session. But based on today, you could have tried this and got a massive move out of it. So you got to put it in your notes just in case it looks similar next time. But we're chilling, man. Mondays, if you guys are new here, Mondays are not typically traded by us. We just like to get our feet wet, get our minds ready for the week. Tape read, follow the markets, because Mondays have a very, very unpredictable aspect to them. But yeah, but like, it should really be that simple. Literally, the screenshots we just took of the perfect examples. Look at price just race back higher here. This could be a good sign for the continuation narrative that we had. Right? We get back above 2 a.m. here. I like it for higher simply because look at all of the low resistance moves here that haven't been taken out. Beautiful trend higher here. Goes all the way up to what is it? Oh, higher time frame order block. The same order block I had, bro. This is honestly, okay. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, if we see this setup again during the week, I'm taking that short. Just on the narrative that look at this, right? You guys know how the game goes. You find the higher time frame order blocks where price failed to continue. You see it clearly failed to go higher here. It was trying its best to go higher and it dumps lower, right? Today, we drive right into it. We close this 4-hour candle with a little bit of hope for bullishness, right? And then it fails right off of that zone with a 5-minute closure through that 2 a.m. price. Bro, when I tell you, okay, yeah, I'm taking that next time, guys. But that's what Mondays are for. Mondays are for you to get your rest off. The weekend can definitely cause you to be a bit eager to trade, and you don't want to jump right into a loss, right? So Mondays help you get your feet wet. And this was a nice play off of that hourly failure swing up here. Nice. Continues to hold really clean. So now if price is able to sell off, sweep these lows, and then fail essentially to continue lower, because if we're going lower, this should be, it should be a downtrend. You don't want to see price do something like dip and then get back above. That's telling you that this level right here is not enough. It's been tapped in way too many times. We tapped into it here. We failed to go lower. It flips, gets above it. Now we tap into it again. If this one fails, then I'm anticipating price is going to climb and try and reach the next level. Very simple, right? So let's see how price does. Here it is. Look, we're getting right back above 2 a.m. here. Wow. Is this 2 a.m. price here? Let's see. Boom, turn those on. Where's 2 a.m.? 5 minutes. 2 a.m., 2 a.m. Actually, I gotta turn my 2 a.m. price back on, man. Let me turn that thing back on, man. Welcome to the ball game, 2 a.m. Boom, 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 boom. 2 a.m. There it is. Save. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, 2 a.m. is way up here. But we're flipping 10 a.m., which is the beginning of a move typically. So let's see. Let's see. This is good. This is what you call good tape reading. All right, you got your sell signal, perfect. You're seeing price absorb those sellers after sweeping out the lows that were left to be swept. These lows right here are meant to be swept every time. Take these out and then continue on with your move. Here, what I'm gonna do now is try this. Look at the rejection coming off that 2 a.m. price right now. Let's see how this plays out. It's 10:30. I'll be on stream till about 12, maybe 11:30, just depending on how this level right here plays out. Oh yeah, that's nice. That is nice. And then let's go back and look at that 4-hour read, right? It was this level here. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This 4-hour low. So a closure through here on the 5, bro. I may be able to buy this right now. And like I said, I'm not going to put any live money on it, guys. I'm literally getting ready for the week here. Mondays will not make you rich. Once you accept that, maybe you'll start using Mondays to just get ready for the week as well. Boom, 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 boom. All right, yeah, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this based on the 5 minute. You can look at the 1 minute in here and see if it has any nothing really, bro, on the 1 minute. Other than flipping that bearish gap that we were using the short earlier. And then you have, yeah, there's literally nothing on the 1 minute that I would say is convincingly support. Other than this, literally, look at that down close candle sitting right here. Look at it. That's beautiful. You could wait and see if this holds, right? Or you could get in now on this 5 minute close through. All right, let's see if it retests this area or not. Move that over. Let's see if it retested the area or not. Let's take a peek at our twin Russell. Let's go to that 4 hour. Dude, yeah. Russell's still pretty weak. All right, there we go. So now this is a clean retest here, giving you the opportunity to see, like, all right, will the 1 minute give you that confirmation, right? So like on the 5 minute short with this close through, the 1 minute did give you, let me see here, it was 2, yeah, here. So with that closure through, notice that the one in the inside of that 5 minute close, there was a 1 minute order block and a gap that was tapped into. So it was a 5 minute close plus 1 minute structure, right? And that's where you take your short. So if this play right here holds, it's gonna come down to the 1 minute structure inside of this 5 minute. So I'll actually note that as well. And then let's see what happens here. It's looking pretty solid. So the 5 minute close was 10 a.m. to 10:05. Yep, you got the gap there. The gap held. Good. And then here you got the 10:30 to 10:35, and you got the gap. So yeah, let's see if this gives you a good example of a buying scenario. This is officially a valid 5 minute close plus 1 minute structure. Said the stream is showing OBS. Oh no, I'm watching the stream. It should be good now. I was changing the overlay a bit. cool. Let's see if this holds up as intended here. Let's see if this holds up. I love how it's retesting it, and I love how it's still holding it. Right? And you got ES leading the way, so technically you probably should be in the ES buys. Stop underneath that liquidity grab level, which was that low before this move higher. Same here, stops underneath there. But realistically, price should not get underneath this order block if we're truly interested in higher, So let's actually draw this up. Yeah, I'm gonna draw it up on ES here, and it would be let's see, no, maybe like 6 contracts. Yeah, about 6 contracts here on the futures. And you're looking for those highs. And then you have your you have, what was it? Oh yeah, SPY. Or SPY. Boom. Yeah, you have your SPY calls sitting at 737. I'll probably do like you gotta do 737 with this. You have to go in the money here, but you're looking for a nice move up to 739s. All right, so let's see if this plays. I'm gonna buy this here. And like I said, these are tape reads today. No live money on the table for me. But based on what I've been putting together, adjusting to how these markets have been a lot more choppy the past couple weeks. Like my trades coming into June, we were hitting winners without having to wait 3, 4, 5 hours or survive the up and down movements before getting paid. But now you're seeing the market like show lots of resistance on these trades. So you got to customize your approach a bit so that you can survive that choppiness. And this is what I'm working on here. And this would be one of those entries. All right, so let's see if price has more upside to it. All right, looking pretty good. And your entry would be, like I said, you want to buy the stronger one just to save yourself a headache. SPY is stronger based on that 4-hour close. Literally, that's the indication for which one is stronger. Where's the Russell? Okay, the Russell is still fighting to hold above 10 a.m. here. So, yeah. This is a really good tape read. Like Mondays, I don't expect much movement from a Monday, but so far it's been moving. So let's see if this setup has any life to it. Look at that heat off of 10 a.m. here. Russell refusing to go. And then you have NASDAQ pretty much doing the same, falling underneath this 10 a.m. price. However, the order block is the backbone, right? So it can dip as far as it wants into here. You just want to see price literally hold the extremes of this failed attempt to go lower here. We tapped into midnight, failed to go lower, created a nice bullish gap. So yeah, we'll see if this holds or what. If not, I think that'll be the only idea on the table, to be honest. I don't see anything else worth trading. I don't want to short this. Let's take a look at ES here. All right, ES pushing down into that order block as well. So let's see, man. This will be a perfect example, though, if this holds, of why you just gotta let these trades do their thing, but put your stop loss in a safe place. See what happens. Cool. Tape read Mondays. Let me put this in there just so people know. No live money on the table. All right, cool. That's a lot of heat off of that Russell move here. So Russell is the one that's not in agreement so far with the higher bias. Russell fails to hold above 10 a.m. No 5-minute closure through it. Nice. Yeah, Russell's showing a lot of weakness. Beautiful 5-minute rejection. And this is, like I was talking about before, this is why I like to watch all three. Like, you get so much more of an understanding of what actually is going on. Because if you're just watching NASDAQ and ES and you're bullish, you're like, why are we rejecting? What are we rejecting off of? But clearly, the Russell's not ready to break 10 a.m. However, there are bullish gaps that were not tapped into, right? So you could easily see something like rally into 10 a.m., pull back, continue. That's no stranger to these markets here. So we'll see. That's a lot of heat. Okay, now we're getting underneath this order block. That changes the narrative. You don't want to see that. You do not want to see that. If it gets underneath it like this, you want to see a skyrocket of a recovery. Otherwise, this bullish idea is going to fail. And it's probably just going to continue lower. So when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, all right, so if I see this trade tomorrow, what could I watch to give me a better entry so I don't have to deal with all this drawdown? The confirmation came from a 5-minute closure here at 10:30. What was the Russell doing at 10:30? Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's your answer right there. Wait for the 3-way confirmation. We got the 2-way. You got NASDAQ and ES closing through that time stamp, that resistance. But Russell was not able to give you that 5-minute close through. So that's your cue to just chill. Don't take it yet. Because once this level is broken, or if this level is broken with a 5-minute close through, then the game changes, right? the game changes, and now price should be ready to go, and you should see a massive move higher, and you could have avoided all of this pressure here, this selling pressure, because now we don't know how long it's going to take for the Russell to get above here. Could take all day, or it can never happen. So let's see. And then what do you notice over here? We break that 1 minute order block simply to dip into this 5 minute imbalance. Look at that dip and rip. As soon as it taps into this imbalance, it goes and it's back on track. Right back on track. It took no time for it to get back on track. That's what you want to see when you have a bias. If your bias starts to look sketchy, you want to see some type of imbalance or order block get tapped and get price right back on track. So now here's where you want to see the Russell go ahead and finally break this 10 a.m. price here, which it has a good amount of time left. This candle just opened. Literally, it went from 0 to 100 in less than a minute. So this candle has 4 minutes left. You want to see this candle close through here within the next 4 minutes. So my eyes are on the Russell for now. Once the Russell breaks, I think the ceiling will be blown off. Nice. So notice we finally started to get like decent 5 minute bullish closures up here for the Russell. But then you also notice every single pullback that we get on the SPY or ES is because Russell is not showing any life for higher, right? So we have finally printed a nice 5 minute close, which was from 1050 to 1055. What do you notice? 1050 gives you the order block, closes above it, leaves a small imbalance, but most importantly, it leaves this last down closed candle where price tried to go lower and failed with a nice reaction off of it. So from there, any retest back into this area, I'm expecting it to fail again and show lots of speed higher. So these dips, when you see price dip aggressively into here, the same way we saw here, you're anticipating a nice recovery out of it. That's why you got to have a safe stop loss so that you don't get cut out of the trade that you actually want to be in. These markets, like I mentioned, they've been dipping a lot more aggressive than they usually are, which is a scam. Like, why do you feel like you need to do all of that? I don't know, but like here, like how many times do you have to pretend like you can't break this level before you just go ahead and do what you got to do? I don't know. Like, it's the weirdest thing to me, bro. Like, I'm almost like fed up with it, but good traders, you have to find a way to make small adjustments that keep you safe, you know what I mean? So now you want to see a nice move through here, and then from there you should be chilling, bro. This should race right to our targets, and this will be a good start to the week. Let me zoom in here. There we go. Come on, just break this level for us. Get that over with. But most importantly, just being able to have your idea on the table well before it even happens. So when it does happen, you're confident enough to just give it room to work. You know what I mean? Like, just let it play out, man. Right or wrong, we need to see this level break. And it's like I said, like this is honestly, this is a perfect example of what we've been having to deal with. The market will tap into a level 12 times before it breaks. Like, bro, how long did you need to fake people out? I don't know, but that's the game we're playing. And it's like summer price action. Summer price action is a lot slower. So I guess that's what it is. NASDAQ, where are you? NASDAQ is moving nicely. Look at that. NASDAQ's taking the lead here. That's impressive. I'll just go back to the 5 minute because Russell has no intention of going anywhere anytime soon. It's funny. It's what time is it? 11 o'clock. Watch, by 11:30, this level will either be broken and will be gone, or maybe Russell really isn't bullish today and it will not break this level. We'll find out. But the NASDAQ somehow looks really strong. Entry for the NASDAQ would have been same area here. Enter off the order block. Stop at a safe place. That's a massive stop loss though. Previous daily high up there. All right, cool. Let's just see what happens. Still like the buys. All right, guys. So as you can see, this is why Mondays are pretty just very, very like lackluster, man. But somehow Nasdaq's looking pretty good, man. Nasdaq's already floating up 200 points. That's impressive because this is the same exact trade. However, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do a side by side because I was thinking that Nasdaq was a little bit weaker based on the concept that this 6 a.m. candle closed a lot more bearish. All right, let me clean this up. Right, you see this bearish candle? This is a black candle here. And you saw ES close with a nice move higher, nice strong body. But I don't know, man. ES technically is stronger. Like, let's zoom out. That's probably what I have to do to get the truth here. All right, what levels we're taking out? Nice. It's just strange. Because if you look, right, you would say Nasdaq hasn't even broken Thursday's high yet. We're still underneath Thursday's high here. Look at that. 29,919. We haven't even broken Thursday's 2 p.m. high. Whereas ES is well above Thursday's 2 p.m. high, right? And that kind of like makes you feel like, well, what's going on? And that's where it just adds right back to the original problem. The markets have been choosing to be out of whack, right? So why would I buy Nasdaq in a situation like this where I can see that the stronger pair is the S&P allegedly, right? I guess nothing can be 100% in trading. So for whatever reason, the same trade, literally the same exact entry, takes off, enter on the gap, safe stop loss. But like I said, you needed a massive stop, which is why I didn't want to trade Nasdaq if I were to trade it. However, you do get a massive gain with very, very little hesitation. Once you survive this dip here, it was off to the races. But here, on the other hand, we're watching the SPY completely symbol doesn't exist, bro. I didn't even do that. Maybe I was on the MES. All right, yeah, MES. So now we're watching the SPY. It survives, right? We got our safe stop. We got the bullish idea. However, this is forcing you to sit here and watch paint dry. I am going to wrap it up here. I feel like I've gotten everything I needed to see. This would be my trade. If this was, let's say, Tuesday, we saw the same exact setup, I will be shorting in this area here once we clear this high indicators. Once we clear these two red lines here with a nice displacement like that, I'll be looking for shorts inside of here. So my trade would have been something like this. It was like a 10 a.m. short. It was right at the open too. Yeah, that was nice. It would have been something like that, man. And I would have been done. 1.5, 2 R max. And I would have been out. This trade right here is a counter trend where you saw that dip. You saw 10 a.m. open lower. Power of 3 tells you to look for higher. We get above these red lines and put some decent structure. We've already survived an aggressive attempt to go lower with this dip here. So naturally, you think price does not want lower. However, you don't know how long it's going to take for price to get up to these highs, man. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Great tape reading session here, man. Hopefully you guys had a solid day, man. Yeah, no trades. Yeah, get out of there. Smart, bro. Mondays are the low volume king. But all in all, I will say that it was a great tape read. And let's see how this ends up playing out. I'll check it later, but Nasdaq is the only one that's giving me hope that it's still going to continue bullish. Let's do this. Nasdaq over here. Look at it go, guys. Nasdaq is being a great leader today. And the sad part is the Russell is the one that is holding us back, right? Look at the Russell. Oh, look, now it wants to pretend to be bullish after dipping into the furthest gap on the menu. This is what I mean, like, when I tell you guys, like, you guys got to understand how to have a strong bias, because lately the market tries to shake you out of your bias as much as possible without actually invalidating the bias, if that makes sense. Like, it's doing all this weird bearishness and it's not going lower. Like, come on, bro, you're just wasting time. But all in all, man, be smart, right? I will be back at it tomorrow. We should be good this week. I think we got the market right where we want it. I'm looking at this daily chart and I'm thinking, we hide everything here. Just a quick forecast, right? You guys already know how the game goes, right? Where are your failed attempts to go lower? Here. We tap into it. We get a nice rally. All right, cool. Where's your failed attempt to go higher? Right here. All right, nice. You tap into it. You get a nice sell-off. Literally, just those two areas give you two great trades. Now, we're in between these two ranges here. That's what I'm going to be playing. I'll be looking to buy it down in here. Or I guess there's one right here now. We created a new down close candle here. Buy it down in here, right? And then short it from up in here. Anything in between, you just wait it out. Very simple. No reason to try to be like, oh, I think we're going to take out this high, or I think we're going to take out this low. No, which order block is price going to tap into, and how does it respond when it gets there? Much easier game to play. But I'm out of here, guys. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 9:30. And I'm expecting a big week here. Later, my friends. Take care. Uh-oh, look at that. It might try to run here. What do you think? It might try to run here. Uh-oh, nope. Nasdaq's about to take this high. So let's say you were in this trade. The moment this high is taken out, well before the others are even close to it, you protect yourself on this trade and you move your stop to your entry, because that could be a red flag reversal, right? But absolutely excellent read on price today, man. Give you something to look forward to for the rest of the week. All right. I'm out of here. Peace.